All right. Again, just want to start out by thanking you guys for coming. I appreciate you doing that, making that trip from Nashville. So, got another great opportunity, another really good football team we're playing this week in La Tech. They're predicted, or they won the West last year and predicted to win it this year, and they're in first place right now in the West. So it's an excellent football team. They've got really good players. Their quarterback moved in, or transferred in the summer from Florida. He's a really good player. He can make all the throws. He's been accurate with the ball. They've got the leading receiver in the conference. They've got one of the top running backs in the conference offensively. So they've got a really good team, an explosive team on offense. Defensively, they're going to bring a lot of pressure. They're going to come from everywhere. We've got to be able to handle that. And they're very sound in the kicking game. They're place kickers leading the conference in field goals at a really high percentage. So kicked a lot of field goals, and he's made most of them. I've known Skip, Coach Holtz, for a long time. He's an excellent coach. He's a great person, a great man, and he's a really good friend. And he's done a really good job down there at La Tech, and I know he's got a good team he's proud of. But we're anxious to play this game. I like where we're at right now, so open that up for you guys.
Coach Darius said that you guys got back to playing MT football and referencing the run game. Other than the individual performances from Desmond and Kamani, what stood out to you in helping that run game get back on track on Saturday?
Well, I think everybody contributes to it. I thought our receivers, blocked on the perimeter well. Obviously, I thought our, backs ran well. I thought our offensive line did a nice job. We stayed on blocks. We had a great balance between run and pass. We weren't one-dimensional, which always helps in the running game. They had to defend the pass. They had to be cognizant and aware of that, and that helps. So there's never just one factor in why you have success, either running the ball or throwing the ball. So I think it was a group effort of all 11 people out there, and the balance that we were able to sustain throughout the game.
Coach, there's an interesting wrinkle to see how you utilized Austin last Saturday, lining him up in the backfield, out wide as well. Did you see enough out of those situations for this to be something that you might throw another wrinkle into?
We're down 2 starters at wide receiver. We're down 6 backs. We got to find people that can get on the field and help us and can contribute. And Austin's a good athlete. He's been working at wide receiver here the last 3 weeks, and he's done a nice job out there, and we'll continue to work him there at wide receiver, and he'll continue to learn and continue to progress. And you can see he's played a little bit more each week at wide receiver here the last 3 or 4 weeks. So Austin is a good athlete, and we're trying to find ways to get him on the field.
From the tape you've seen from Florida and Louisiana Tech, what does Jeff Driscoll do best to challenge opposing defenses?
I hadn't watched, to be honest with you, I hadn't watched any Florida film. We got enough film, what he does since he's been at La Tech. It's 2 different offensive schemes. So you don't need to go back and watch Florida. He's a good player. He can make all the throws. He's accurate, does a good job protecting the ball.
Speaking of Driscoll, he's seen a lot of improvement in his numbers from his time at Florida. Do you see from watching the tape an improvement in his mechanics or just his decision-making?
It's 2 different offensive schemes that he was involved in at Florida and La Tech. He's a good player. He was a good player at Florida, and he's a good player here at La Tech. So I'm not going to get into, all the critiquing and all that. That's for people that coach him and that have coached him. I just know he's a really good player. He's very accurate with the ball. He's a good athlete. He can run, scramble around a little bit, make some things happen with his feet. So he's a good player.
You guys are still a game under 500, but you remain alive in the East at 2-1. Tell me what Saturday's win did for the morale of the team overall. I know after the Vanderbilt loss, you guys said no. After the Western Kentucky loss, you guys said you were 1-0 in the conference, 1-1 in the conference still. Tell me what that win did Saturday for the morale.
Our morale has been good the whole year. I have had no complaints with the morale, the attitude, and the character of this team. I like this team. I've said it for 10 weeks now. So the win is rewarding in the sense of how hard these guys have worked and how hard they've competed the whole year, but especially these last, 3 weeks when you've had, a 2-point loss at the buzzer to Illinois, a 2-minute loss at the buzzer to Vandy, and then you get beat pretty good up at Western Kentucky. And the resiliency and the attitude of this team to continue to prepare and fight and practice and compete like they have, I was just happy for our players to enjoy that success on Saturday.
Coach, it's been about 15 years since MT played Louisiana Tech. You last coached against them when you were on Clemson's staff in 2002. Does that lack of recent experience versus a team, does it at all cause a challenge for preparation?
No, sir. There's a bunch of teams we hadn't played in a long time. So there's enough tape. There's enough tape out there. Skip's been there now 3 years. There's enough tape to evaluate what they're doing offensively and defensively in the kicking game this year and last year that we'll be prepared for them.